The 2025 Australian of the Year Awards have been handed out at a ceremony in Canberra. AFL legend Neale Daniher was named the 2025 Australian of the Year. Neale Daniher was diagnosed with motor neurone disease back in 2013 and has dedicated his life to supporting others with the condition ever since. After a very public life in football, Neale Daniher has lived his condition very publicly as well, even in its advanced stages. His courage and drive has raised awareness and more than $100 million towards medical research. His daughter Beck joined us a little earlier on Weekend Breakfast, and she says she's proud of her father's fight, but it is still a brutal disease.
It takes away your independence, takes away your dignity a lot of the time. We can't go around that's the case, but he chose to take it publicly because if he didn't do it, how can he expect others out there to fight? And there's not many people that are handed down a terminal illness, and he talks about finding the opportunity. No matter the adversity faced in life, there's always opportunity. It's just up to you to find it. Fight MND and what the work that we're doing is our way to take back control, to find a way to fight back, to make a change. And Dad's always said that this is about those in the future. It was never about himself. And so the last 10 years, we never expected him to be here. So we are so grateful for every single day, because that's not the normal narrative around MND.
No.
But we've been able to fight back, to make a really positive change and just to bring hope back into the landscape.
And the Senior Australian of the Year is brother Thomas Oliver Pickett, otherwise known as Ollie. He co-founded Wheelchairs for Kids in 1996, which custom builds wheelchairs and provides occupational therapy for children in more than 80 countries. He says the wheelchairs cost about $275 to make, but are priceless for their recipients.
It's very overwhelming, the whole process, and I'm very, very honoured to receive this magnificent award. Every wheelchair we make, it goes to a disabled child who will never meet. And but we know from all the feedback we get back from that country where they go to, that the children really love the chairs. And when you see a little kid been on the ground for quite a long time, could be 5, 6, 7 years, and all of a sudden they're off the ground and fitted into a wheelchair properly by our occupational therapists who've been all over the world training people how to do it, how to fit the kids up properly. It's very satisfying to all of us to know that that little kid now, they've got a smile on their face, they're out and about, they're at school, in the village school, and getting an education and playing out with their friends. So it's life-changing.
The Young Australian of the Year is Indigenous woman Katrina Wruck, whose research creates new materials to address contaminants in water. She says her culture and her connection to country drives her in her work.
I try and find ways to do everything that I do in the lab and in research in general in a greener and more sustainable way, to really minimise chemical reagents that are being used, to find lower temperatures to do things, and to challenge the status quo. I found a lot of the time that previous papers were just referencing what everyone else had done, and they'd never actually decided to, challenge the status quo and find a new way to do it. So that's something that I think, a lot of young people are able to do now, have the courage to challenge it. Just because everyone else has done it like that doesn't mean that you have to either.
And Australia's local heroes are Banessa, Brettell and Hannah Costello. Their Canberra-based business cafe Stepping Stone employs mostly women from migrant and refugee backgrounds. Well, the pair started their venture because they were inspired by one of Banessa's family members.
So my mum and her parents and her brother migrated in the 60s to Canberra, and it was quite a difficult journey for my grandmother, who had lower levels of English and education, and she struggled to just find a place where she could grow and develop and form a community and be part of Australian society.
I think having the ability to learn and earn at the same time is something that's really empowering for these women. They're beautiful souls and they have everything within them. They just need the opportunity or the helping hand of someone so that they have the opportunity to unlock that. It's amazing being to work with them every day. And yeah, they just need that door open for them, really.